Buying arrows can be as frustrating as it can be exciting. There's nothing worse than going to the pro shop only to find out that the guy that you've been buying arrows for that's been setting your bow up for years is no longer there, or it's his off day and there's a substitute archery tech, or season's right around the corner and everyone is in there trying to get their bow set up and new arrows, so you're stuck waiting a really long time. But the worst part is you leave there not knowing if the arrow that you were set up with is optimized for your hunting scenarios and for your bow. Because of all those frustrations, we Exodus decided, why don't we make buying arrows as simple as possible with the Exodus online arrow builder. It's a 3D model that will use your bow specs and an algorithm to determine the very best arrow for your bow, from arrow length, arrow weight, and fletching configuration. It takes less than a minute to fully complete the setup, and all you have to know are a few critical things about your bow. So I decided to walk through exactly how to purchase some new Exodus arrows. We have two arrows to choose from. We have a standard diameter shaft. This is a carbon weaved shaft, or we have a multi-layered carbon non-weave 204 diameter shaft. So whether you're a standard diameter guy or you're a small diameter guy, we have an arrow for you, no matter your pursuit. On the home page of the website, there will be a menu tab, the 3 lines at the top. Go ahead and hit shop up there and hit arrows. You'll see 2 different arrow builders. You'll have the standard diameter, the Exodus MMT, or you'll have the small diameter, the Exodus NIS. Whichever one of those you're interested in, just click on that builder. So for this video, I'm gonna build some Exodus NIS arrows. That's our new shaft for 2023. So I'll walk you through how to build my arrow. So the first thing you need to do is choose your quantity. You can buy these in a dozen or half dozen. Hit the arrow to the right and it brings up your draw weight. It's critical to know the draw weight of your bow. That's gonna be one of the factors that determines the spine that you're gonna be shooting. And don't worry, you don't have to know that stuff. You do have to know your draw weight, but we will select the spine for you. Say you have a 65-pound bow, but it's actually drawing 68. That might bump you up into a different spine depending on your draw length. So it's important to know exactly how much weight you're pulling for your draw weight. The next thing we need to know is your draw length. The draw length helps us determine the correct arrow length and will help determine the correct spine. Sometimes your bow is gonna have a sticker on it that says the draw weight and draw length, or you can check the mods and those will have certain draw lengths in them. Or another quick way without your bow to determine your draw length, stand with your arms out wide and measure from tip to tip and divide that number by 2.5, and that's gonna be your draw length. The next critical point we need to know is what point weight you're shooting. Your broadhead weight or your field point weight is gonna also be critical in knowing what the correct spine is for you. So for me, I'm shooting 100 grain broadhead and I will select 100. Now the let off is another aspect in determining the correct spine, and it really only helps if you're on the verge between 300 and 350 or 300 and 250. Most newer bows are going to come standard with an 85% let off or up. Chances are it's at 85, so if you're unsure, just select 85%. The next critical point is kind of up to you, and I have some recommendations based off of broadheads. We have a Q2I Fusion X2 vane, and you can get this with 3 or 4 fletchings. If you're flying a smaller fixed blade broadhead or a mechanical, this is gonna be a great choice for you. It's a low profile design, ultra quiet vane. You can get this configuration with an offset, right or left. If you don't specify, it's gonna be 2.5 degrees to the right. You can also get this in a 4 fletch configuration with the same offset choices. For those guys that are shooting a larger fixed blade broadhead, that's gonna be a really great choice. Then we have the AAE Hybrid HP. We chose this vane for a couple of different reasons. For the folks that want to customize your arrow setup with colors, we have the AAE Hybrid HP available in 14 different colors. But this is gonna be a great all-around vane if you are unsure of what broadhead that you wanna shoot, whether it's fixed or mechanical. This vane in a 3 fletch configuration with a 2.5 degree offset to the right or left is kind of the do-it-all vane for us. So this is another great option for folks. And the last configuration is the Arrow Vane 2. This is a super high performance, super high spin rate vane. It's a very technical vane. It's best used with fixed blade broadheads under 1 1/8 inch cutting surface that are vented or mechanicals, this is a fantastic, fantastic performing vane. Once you choose your vane configurations, you're gonna have to choose what insert you wanna shoot. And for the NIS, it's a half out. It's built by Firenock, and we have two different weight configurations. We have a black anodized aluminum half out, and this is going to be 18 grains. And then we have a stainless steel half out, and this is going to be 50 grains. One thing to note with the inserts, there is an additional carbon tube on the front 6 inches of the shaft. That's going to beef up the structural integrity of the front of the shaft. Also going to give you some better flight characteristics, but that carbon insert also weighs 20 grains. So add that to your insert weight if you're trying to get within a certain weight range on your arrow. For me, I like the aluminum, but for the FOC guys, the stainless steel half out is really, really solid. And then there's 3 different knock options. We have the Firenock non-lighted. There's also a Firenock lighted that uses the same knock. And then we have the Boning Blazer knock in white. The Firenock's available in red, blue, or green in the lighted variation and non-lighted variation. The important thing to know about your knock is the fit on your string. So the Firenock is going to be a little tighter. If you have a center serving that is 108 thousandths to 112 thousandths, the Firenock is an outstanding knock. Or if you have a center serving that is 112 thousandths, 114 thousandths to 120 thousandths, the Boning Blazer knock is going to be the knock for you. And lastly, all you have to do is choose your build time. We can have these built for you in 5 business days or less. You have a 2 to 3 business day option and a next business day option. If you're in a pinch and need some arrows, we got you covered. At the end of the build process, you're gonna see that the spine is selected for you. So the optimal spine for your bow setup is gonna be chosen for you. You don't have to know any of this stuff. And it's gonna give you your total arrow length, the total weight of the arrow, and the FOC of your arrow. So if those are things that you're into, those statistics are provided for you. Now, one quick note on arrow length. We are typically building these arrows to be a 1/2 inch shorter than your draw length. If you want something different, when you get to checkout, there's gonna be order notes. Just specify the arrow length that you want. We can accommodate all sorts of custom requests. If you have a vane configuration that you love, just let us know. We won't fletch them. We'll do everything else, spine align them and send them to you. Or for the guys that want to build your own arrows, we do offer these in bare shafts as well. So you can still get the Exodus arrow system and build them the way that you want to build them. The entire goal of this process is to simplify the arrow buying process. We want to make sure you have the best possible arrow for your pursuit this fall, because when it comes to the moment of truth, you got to trust your equipment. If we wouldn't shoot the arrow at a world-class animal, it doesn't leave the office. Head to the website now, exodusoutdoorgear.com, and build you some arrows.